What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. I've got two expert handicappers on the show today, giving you two free college basketball picks and two free NBA picks. I've got Ross Benjamin and Nick Parsons. But before we get to the picks, I've got to tell you guys about NoHouseAdvantage.com. It's a killer website. It's designed for fantasy sports players. And let's not forget, baseball season is right around the corner. They've got a great promo for you guys. If you use our promo code P&P, they're going to match your first deposit up to $50. So if you're into the fantasy football, fantasy baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever it is, head over to NoHouseAdvantage.com and get yourself signed up. With me today, I have expert handicapper Ross Benjamin. How's it going, Ross?
Going good, Ellie. You know, college basketball, since the calendar turned to 2023, number 5 at the site with a 39-28 record, plus 837. And my college basketball totals are on a run right now, Ellie. 22-9 with my last 31, good for 72%. And by the way, I have two college basketball totals up for sale for tonight, right at Picks and Parlays, Michigan State, Maryland game, and the Kansas State and TCU game.
All right. I like it, Ross. Okay, crush. I got to have you on Total Chaos. I know you don't like to pick the night before. That's why I never invite you on Total Chaos. It's kind of how we roll. But your good friend Chip Chirimbus is the champ, just so you know. So if you ever feel like taking him on, I can match you up.
That's a monumental task.
It is. He's really good at totals too. Okay, so this Tuesday, February the 7th, we've got Marquette taking on UConn. The total on this one is -4. Marquette's the number 10 team. UConn's the number 21 team. Total on this one's a 147.5. I know we're on opposite sides of this. Tell me why you like UConn.
Well, I was going to say this is a sucker play, but now that you tell me that you're on the other side, I certainly don't want to be insulting.
No, it's okay.
But
Sometimes we're suckers, right?
I do think this is a trap, Ellie. You know, you got a UConn team like you just alluded to. They're number 21 and Marquette's number 10, yet they're a 4-point favorite in this spot. You also have a Marquette team that's 19-5 on the season. All 5 of their losses have come by 5 or less. Right. They're 5-0 in their last 5. They're 10-1 in their last 11. On the other hand, UConn's 4-6 straight up and 3-7 against the spread in their last 10, and that includes losing 2 of their last 3 at home. Yet here we are with UConn as a 4-point favorite. Not only that, UConn will be playing with revenge as they lost by 6 at Marquette earlier this season. And where I think UConn will have the advantage tonight and where it will wear down Marquette in the second half is on the offensive glass. UConn isn't exactly a great shooting team, but they are number 10 in the country in offensive rebounding. They rebound 37% of their missed shots. They turn them into second chance opportunities. And that doesn't take hold in the first half, but usually wears teams down in the second half when they're forced to play 45 seconds to a minute straight of defense. And over their last 5 games, they've been even better than that. UConn averaging 14 offensive rebounds per game. I don't know, Ellie. I know you're going to give me the other side, and it's okay, you know, but I just think right now that bettors are going to be trapped, including yourself, or sucked in, I should say, to take the underdog here because of everything I just said.
My angle was more that Marquette is tied with Xavier at the top of this conference. They want the win here. They've beat them before. And I don't necessarily think that UConn wins the game. I think Marquette covers it, though. So it's not that, like, I think UConn loses. I just don't know if they win by 4. But, you know, I do a morning wood show every single day. Most of my morning woodies were on UConn today. So sometimes you got to look at your numbers and just say, okay, maybe I'm just on the wrong side of it. I'm just sticking with my gut here. All right. I'm taking the 4. I love Shaka Smart. I love Danny Hurley also. I love both of these coaches and the programs. I just think Marquette might have a little bit more motivation. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Ross Benjamin is the expert here. He's going to go with UConn minus the 4 points. I think it's 4.5 now, actually. So that's going on. It went from 4.5 to a 4, and now it's back at a 4.5. So I dug the line movement when the 4.5 went to a 4, but now that it's back up, 70% of the money's on UConn too. So there's that going on. But Ross is the expert. Follow the experts. Don't put that smoke on me. Okay, let's move into the NBA. How about that? So we got the Suns -6. They're at the Brooklyn Nets. Total on this one is a 225. So what do you got going on here?
The Nets made a huge trade on Sunday. They sent Kyrie Irving, the malcontent that he is, to Dallas. In exchange, they got Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, and a slew of draft choices, too, in 2027 and 2029 as well. Finney-Smith is expected to make his Nets debut tonight, but Spencer Dinwiddie, according to a website that I follow, will not be available for tonight's game. I don't know why. I'm sure there's some complications within the trade or travel, whatever case may be.
He's moving.
But yeah, well, you know what? The Nets are now playing their third game in 4 days. They started this out on Saturday, and Kyrie Irving sat out that game because he was on the trade block. They'll say he had an injury, but that's really not the exact cause. And, they played shorthanded, and they're going to be shorthanded again tonight. Kevin Durant's still out. Seth Curry got hurt on Saturday. He's still out. Ben Simmons is questionable. So the list goes on. And the Nets have played 6-0 to the under this year in non-conference games when the total is 222 or greater. And that applies here. The Phoenix Suns, 4-0 to the under in their last 4, 8-1 to the under in their last 9, 17-4 to the under in non-conference games this year. In those 21 non-conference games, averaged just a combined 214.1 points per game. They've also gone 5-0 to the under in their last 5 non-conference away games. And those 5 contests against non-conference opponents, 199.2 points per game. I'm going to go with the Suns and the Nets here, under 225, even though defense seems to be an afterthought for the Nets these days. I still like this game to go under. I think the Suns get this game to play at their pace, which they don't like to go tremendously fast. And I think these numbers hold up in regards to what I just alluded to. Suns Nets under 225.
All right. Well, that one I'm not going to argue with you on, mainly because I'm only looking at college basketball right now. So, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Thank God for that.
I'm just going to take your word for it. But people at home, Ross Benjamin is number 5 on the site in college basketball, doing extremely well with his college ball totals right now. Head over to picksandparlays.net, and we've got a really special Power Hour promo for you. It is super. And it's just super to save 25% off of best bets from an expert like Ross Benjamin. Guys, head over there. We're going to do a quick recap on Ross's 2 best plays. He's digging UConn -4. I'm seeing 4.5s out there, though, so get it now before that goes any higher, although I don't really think it will. And then when the Suns take on the Nets, we're going to play that one under a 225. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Ross. Guys at home, don't forget to like and subscribe. The Power Hour is on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Ross.
Thank you for having me, Ellie.
Good luck. He's going to need it to beat Marquette. No, I'm just kidding. I would go, when I made my picks for Marquette, I had a whole bunch of people tell me some really good points. You know what? Bets are made. There's nothing I can do about it now. Sometimes you just gotta cross your fingers. All right. Someone else coming into the chat now. We got Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. What's up, Nick?
Yeah, not too much, Allie. Hoping to do as good as I did last week. I swept both of these plays last week, so let's go.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So TCU is at Kansas State. K-State -4.5. This is another one that was a 4, went to a 4.5. The total on this one is a 149. I liked these. My plays on this game are in the first half. So why don't you let me know what you like full game?
Yeah, perhaps we'll align and we might, we might be on the same side here. But yeah, I mean, TCU, it's now 17-6. It's 6-4 in the Big 12. It lost 79-73 at Oklahoma State in its most recent action. K-State. Now, it's 18-5. It's coming off back-to-back losses.
Yeah.
It lost 69-66 to Texas on Saturday. But the Wildcats, they play with revenge here, Allie. They lost 82-68 at TCU in the first meeting in earlier in the year. So I think that they can dig deep here. They can snap the 2-game slide and then also avenge the earlier loss as well here. And a main reason why is TCU is a bit banged up. It's going to be without the services of point guard Mike Miles Jr. again here. He suffered a knee injury against Mississippi State, and they have gone 1-1 since he's been out. Now, a strength of TCU is its depth, but that's still a really big hole to fill, especially in this difficult road venue. TCU does average 77.3 points per game. That ranks 41st in adjusted offensive efficiency. But the Horned Frogs are still one of the worst teams in the nation in shooting the 3-ball. They convert just 29.1% of the time. And so, I mean, yeah, granted, the Wildcats, they have lost 2 straight. But, I mean, I think they definitely remain one of the biggest surprises this year in college basketball. They rank 37th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 25th in adjusted defensive efficiency. K-State, though, is really solid from range. It averages 35%. But the bottom line, as I alluded to before, Kansas State's the healthier team. Not only is Miles out in this one, but their starting center, Eddie Lampkin Jr., he's listed as questionable with an ankle injury. So even if he does go, he's not going to be at 100%. And so, yeah, they say that revenge is a dish best served cold. And so, yeah, I'm going to roll with the Wildcats.
Yeah, okay, good, because we're on the same. And I've really been cashing on TCU. I've in-played them a lot this season, and I've been cashing on them. So I dig this squad, don't get me wrong. But they are on back-to-back road games. And let's not forget, Kansas losing to Texas. Texas is number 1 in the conference. It's a really solid squad. And their other
best offense.
Yeah, and best offense. So there you have it. Their other loss was to KU, to Kansas, which isn't one of the, I mean, they're ranked nationally. I think they're number 8 or something, but within their conference, they're a bit down lower. They're tied with Baylor. They're tied with a couple other ones. My point is that for Kansas State to play Kansas, that's like playing a number 1 team. This is who is circled on your schedule all year long. So those 2 losses, I don't put a ton of stock in them, which is why I really like K-State, and I really like them in the first half. It's a minus 2.5. I think they're going to just hit the floor and run and gun. They want that early lead. They want to avenge their loss to TCU. So I like K-State minus 2.5 in the first half, and I dig them full game. I like them to get it done against this banged up TCU team. So we agree, Nick Parsons. Let's go.
Nice.
Here we go. Okay, so we'll move it on into the NBA. We got the T-Wolves at the Nuggets. Nuggets are a minus 9. Total on this one is a 234. Tell me what you're thinking about this one.
Well, these teams just played against each other, and the Wolves won by a score of 128-98. The total pushed on that one, but I'm expecting more of a defensive affair here, and so they won as a big underdog. The total in that one was at 226 in Minnesota, and so now here in Denver, it's up a few points. They're in right around, the 233.5 range, but I think it's a few points too high. I think that they're going to finish with a similar final combined score as what they just finished with there. Denver's actually seen the total go under the number in 8 of its last 11 after a straight up and against the spread loss in which it was held to 99 or fewer points in. They hit the road for 3 straight after this, and so that puts added importance on Denver, controlling this game and making sure it gets a win. Minnesota has been trading wins and losses over its last 5 games, and obviously that pattern could easily continue here in this difficult road venue. And so that's part of the reason why I'm focusing on the total. The Wolves, they've seen the total go under the number in 7 of their last 10 off a straight up and against the spread victory as an underdog. It averages Minnesota 115.9 points per game, and that's 11th in the NBA. But I just think they're going to have a difficult time reaching that average here in hostile territory. And so that's how I sort of see this one playing out. I just think this is a few points too high. We're going to see a little bit more of a defensive affair after they just played against each other. So I'm going under.
I would agree with this. And the line would too. This opened at like a 237. So it's been being bet down. However, most of the money is still on the over, which I see that sometimes it comes down and now you're betting that lower number to go over. But I agree with you. I think too much stock is going to be placed in these two teams coming after each other when you're right. It's more of that slow and low tempo preparing for what's next. So I'm with you on this one too, Nick. All right, let's make some money for our viewers. Now, over at picksandparlays.net, are you still crushing the NBA? Because I know you were on a heck of an NBA streak for a minute there.
We are, absolutely, and we're playing lots of NBA every single day. Listen, the hoops is taking center stage, and so we're loving it. We love this time of year. Super Bowl's just around the corner. We're still on a big NFL playoff run as well, so go check out the Insiders Room over at picksandparlays.net.
Yes. And when you do it, use our promo code SUPER. It saves you 25% off the site, not your regular promo code where you save 20%. This is 25%. That's an extra 5%, y'all. Okay, that's value. So use that promo code, head over to the site, find the Insiders Room, and start making some money with Nick and the boys. Also, let's do a quick recap of Nick's number one picks for the day. We're going to take Kansas State -4.5. I like Kansas State -2.5 in the first half. And then we're going to go in the NBA and roll with the under 234 when the T-Wolves play the Nuggets. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Nick. Viewers at home, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. The Power Hour is on every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Good luck, everyone.